Hey guys, I am here with the assistant director for the feature film Stash, DinaSix.
Yeah.
Welcome. Just came fresh off the airport from Miami.
Mhm.
Dina, I want to ask you. You know, this is your first feature film, I believe.
No,
No,
not mine.
not yours.
No.
Okay. What was the drive? Because I mean, you guys were doing this during a global pandemic. What was the drive to actually do this film for you?
Well, came up to New Jersey, and I really wanted to work. You know, and I mentioned to a friend, Natalie, who was a friend of Kel's, and she said, you know, there's actually a production where Kel's is looking for somebody, and we got attached. And we hit the streets. I mean,
so there was no fear in this. Like, you know, people were not leaving their house still. It was a little scary.
It was full on.
Yeah.
It was full on.
So how was that experience? Were you a little afraid or like, you know?
Well, I mean, for some reason, I wasn't afraid, but I had to be careful because I had, I was staying with my aunt on Atlantic Beach, and I was, seeing my mother who was ill, but I would, mask up. It was funny? We had like 14 shoot days, and one of the very last shoot days was up in the mountains. So I said, let me take this mask off for 2 minutes.
Yes.
And do you know, every single person turned around and was like, oh my God, is that what you look like? Because they had seen me without the mask.
Oh, so you were really being protected. Like you were being very
super careful.
Oh, that's good.
And you know what I loved about this part of this production is that a lot of it was shot outside. So that was one reason why, although I took trains everywhere, we shot in the Bronx, Harlem, Midtown, downtown. I was on every train system.
Wow.
And late. We shot at night. So I was on the trains. I was 200 and something street. I mean, I just like went, I was going to say balls to the wall, but you can't really say that on the and just because I was so excited to be working.
Yeah, because you're indoors, you're stuck, you feel like, you're not doing what you love, so.
And I believed in the production, and I believed in Kel's from right off the bat too.
Yeah.
So I was excited because I was, I was working. I was in LA until COVID hit.
Oh, wow.
So, I was.
What's a one takeaway that you want the audience to take from seeing this movie? You haven't seen it yet, right?
I have seen it a couple of times, but I won't give anything away. But it's amazing what dedicated people can do. Where there was 5 of us, literally, it was a crew of 5.
Wow.
And I am so impressed in the job and the dedication of everybody, that everybody showed up, and most of the act, I was really blown away how so many people try to do this. 1% of the people write a script. 1% of the people that write a script ever actually make a film.
Yeah.
And every time I talked to Kelja, every time it was like, okay, post-production. Dan is a friend of mine. I got Dan the music. The score is phenomenal.
Oh yeah.
And the takeaway is that what you can do, with a good story and perseverance.
Yeah.
It was really. I'm so impressed. George not only directed it, was the cinematographer. They had that.
The cinematography was beautiful.
He did that red camera, George.
Oh, beautiful.
I loved the way George worked. I was so impressed on every.
Oh, I've seen it and it's beautiful.
I assisted him.
Gorgeous.
I loved it. I loved working for him. We ran around train stations. If it wasn't for the pandemic, we got $1 million production in these train stations because nobody was stopping anybody.
I think that's also a great thing that you guys got to shoot this during the pandemic because no one was around. So you had the whole city to yourself. Almost,
Train stations, nobody said a word. We shot everywhere, on streets. We sat down, one scene is literally, I don't know, I shouldn't even say, we don't even know whose house it was.
Oh my God!
Because the other location didn't work. So we walked down a block, and that acting in that scene with the 2 guys on the steps is phenomenal.
Oh yes!
And that was just a random house.
Wow.
Where we used the steps, and it worked. So,
no one
and
said
that's
anything.
part of the, nobody said anything.
I love it.
I was the boom operator too the entire time.
Oh wow.
I not only assistant directed, I boom operated 99% of that movie.
Wow. Dina, thank you.
You're welcome. By the end of it, we were ballerinas. All 5 of us were like, We were smooth, and then it was over. It was done.
Oh, I can't wait to see what the audience thinks when they look at it tonight.
I'm so proud of them, really. I'm so
Yeah.
happy for Kels
Yeah.
and George.
Yeah, well, thank you for
Thank you
coming.
so
I'm so
much.
happy you're here.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yes. Thanks, Dina.
Thanks.
Yeah.